First of all, I thought we'd talk about New Zealand industry.
Yeah.
It seems to have come forward a lot in the last decade or so.
Yeah, the screen industry
Yeah.
and everything. Yeah. Well, obviously, Peter Jackson and his gang are a huge driver of that. But yeah, actually, it's quite exciting at the moment. There's been some really exciting new films released just this year in the last few months. So we feel that it's still tough attracting and the backing, the finance, and getting projects off the ground. I don't know what it's like in Australia at the moment, but
Same story.
Okay, right, sure. Well, and we keep, but despite that, we keep producing talent, and as I say, there's some great films out. And recently, I saw a film called Housebound, which is like a haunted house horror genre thing shot in New Zealand, which is brilliant, and I can really recommend that. So yeah, we're on the up.
And what do you think's driving that, other than Peter Jackson?
Just good old Kiwi talent and determination, and in terms of what might have changed in the environment, in the equation as far as film, financing and things like that, I can't really tell. I don't know enough about that or the politics of that. But there's a feeling that also there's a new head, a guy called Dave Gibson, who's just been appointed new head of the New Zealand Film Commission, and so there's a feeling of real positive energy in the air, and people coming up with really good ideas for movies, strong stories, and I think it's fair to say that there's a kind of a accumulating skill base alongside people that have got to work on the Peter Jackson movies and other things that is being sustained. There's ups and downs like there always is in showbiz and in the movie business, but we're hanging in there.
Yeah. That's good, because I think we're sort of discouraging things here. We're only supporting established people and established projects rather than nurturing the new talent coming through. I think this is where our film commissions are failing down. But that's only our review.
Okay.
They're not interested in anyone new, really. They never support new talent, not particularly that we've seen.
I've done a lot of theatre. I mean, that's been the bulk of my work as an actor over 30 years, and it's very clear to me that you're foolish if you don't keep feeding and nurturing and sustaining the new talent. And we probably need to get a fair bit better in New Zealand for sure about making sure that those little shoots that fragile little are watered and fed and
watered and nurtured.
It's going to come to a grinding halt really without some new talent around.
Well, ultimately that's the trouble, and we go through these phases. But
sure.
Anyway, we're not about the Australian film industry. Tell us about your role in The Hobbit.
Well, I'm happy to say that it's been an amazingly positive experience. I mean, Gloin, I couldn't believe my luck when I got offered the part, I think as an actor, no matter what character you play, you've got to learn to love them and take their point of view and everything. But I find him very endearing, because he's a grumpy little bastard, but he's actually got a big heart, and he's a passionate character.
So it's easy to get into that.
I mean, I think the thing to say about that is that in the books, the characters of the dwarves are not, there's not a lot of information. They're not fleshed out necessarily, but because they move as a pack, in a sense, and I think it's the case in the movies that we're like one big character. We're 13 facets of one big character in a way. That's one way to look at it. the kind of brilliance of the creative team on the movies is that they've given with a workshop, the designers and everything, they've given each of the dwarves a really distinctive look, and profile, the hair, the costume, body shape, attitudes. If you're a warrior or a lover or a fighter, or and so and the writers as well. They're so clever that there's somebody. There's a dwarf for everyone to love and follow. If you like.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Done that well, haven't they?
Yeah, I think they have. Yeah.
Lovable.
So they've finished the third one now.
Yeah, well, the filming, the camera stuff, if you like, came to an end for those of us playing dwarves a good while ago. I mean, the post-production phase is massive on these films, as I'm sure you know. And we, in recent months, we've done some post-production sound, going into the studio and doing vocal sort of fine-tuning on bits and pieces, and we've had a bit of a glimpse of some of the stuff on screen, a lot of it unfinished. So we're very much kind of in the leaving the journey behind phase as actors, but we still feel part of that kind of family and everything. And of course there'll be huge hype with that final film coming up in a few months.
There will be.
Does it sort of shock you when you see the changes they've made, given the fact that so much special effects is in the background? You have a look at it and it must look totally different to what it was when you were doing
it. Look, it always shocks me in the most wonderful way. I mean, I talk about seeing the first film, and our involvement was sizable, and so we did a lot of filming, and we kind of have a reasonable idea about what was shot, although obviously we're not involved in everything. But when I saw it, and of course I had the images in my head of various amazing locations we went to, amazing studio sets, amazing actors and characters and everything. But when you see the final thing all blended together with green screen backgrounds added, all the digital trickery and artistry involved, I literally sat there with my mouth wide open when I saw the first film.
I don't remember that.
Where's that come from?
And just the all aspects of it are just stunning. And of course, this team, Peter Jackson and all the kind of amazing people around him, every single time they raise the bar higher, and they keep pushing the boundaries in terms of their creative ambitions and the technology and everything. So I can't talk about it in detail, but I've said already to a couple of people earlier today. This last movie is just going to rock everyone's world. Yeah.
When's it going to be released? You've got a while to go post, but
well, it's early December, and sort of mid-December. There's different dates for different areas of the world, and there'll be some premieres and
Christmas New Year period.
It's the same model they've followed in the release of the previous films and the build up to Christmas.
Huge build up, isn't it?
Yeah.
Massive.
There was so much money in them, they need to have it.
Yeah, it's all on an epic scale, and they are experts in what they do, right through all the marketing and everything like that. Yeah.
Very good, isn't it?
Any interesting stories you have from on set, of the things that go wrong?
Stuff we'll have a Google that later.
Okay, we'll wind up so quick one.
I mean, there's all the usual stuff you'd expect where a large team of people are working very hard on something over a long period of time and spending a lot of time together. And you have to have, I think the first thing to say is that you have to have a really good kind of work environment, work atmosphere, because people are working so bloody hard and relentless hours and periods of time and away from home and things. But that those people are, and it comes from the top. They're really brilliant at fostering an attitude where people kind of look after each other, look out for each other, enjoy each other's company, and that's how they the most out of people.
Most out of people.
So every single person on that team, and there's hundreds, thousands of them, just go the extra distance because they're really proud to be working on it and proud of the work. So in terms of funny stuff happening, that I can actually say that won't be censored. I mean, there's a lot of and certainly with the dwarves, when you've got a lot of blokes around, there's a lot of really crude humour and schoolboy type humour to help the day go with a swing.